Good morning, dear student. I am your English teacher, and today we are going to start the new chapter. The chapter name is The Address. In this story, a beautiful girl, she wanted to take back her mother belongings things from her mother friends. This story is a touching account of a girl who goes in search of her mother's belonging after the Second World War in Holland. But even after finding what she so much wanted to touch, to see, the feel, and remember, she leaves everything behind. In starting, she wants to take back those things, but at last she finds that if I will take these things back, so I think all these things will give me a type of pain. I will miss to my mother. Okay, it could not bring her dead mother back. She thinks that I will take these things back, but my mother will not come back. So at last she decides to move on and live with only memories of the former times. The address that held so much importance till she visited that place lost its value, and the girl realized that it could get her nothing but pain. Ever now we are talking about the characters. How many characters are there in this whole story? The first character is the daughter. The daughter means the narrator who is telling this story to you. She is the narrator who is telling to you this story, who returns to Holland. She comes back Holland to go to the address. She goes to the address where her mother, she was living over there, where her mother's precious belongings were kept. As normalcy had returned after the Second World War in Holland, she wanted to see all possessions that were a bond between her family and herself. Now the second character is Mrs. S. Who was the Mrs. S? Mrs. S was the mother of the narrator. In this story, the narrator mother has been called as Mrs. S. She was a simple who could not see the manipulating and fraudulent nature of Mrs. Darling. Her acquaintance, she trusted Mrs. Darling and allowed her to keep all her precious belonging for the time being. She gives all the things which was very precious at the time. She gives all the things to Mrs. Darling. Now the last character is their third character, Mrs. Darling. How she was? She has been described as an old acquaintance of Mrs. S. She was an old acquaintance of Mrs. S. After a long gap, she appeared again during the war. She possessed a cunning personality. She was a very cunning personality. Who? Mrs. Darling. During the war, she possessed a cunning personality. She is most reluctant to recognize the daughter and does not allow her to enter the house. When narrator goes to the house of the Mrs. Darling, she does not give permission to enter the house. Okay, now my dear, we come on the story. The short story is the sad account of daughter. Poignant means sad story. Daughter who goes in search of her mother's belonging. Now the narrator goes to the house of her mother friend. She wanted to take back those things after the war in Holland. When she finds them, the object evoke memories of her entire life. However, she decides to leave them and in last she left all the things all behind and resolved to move on. Now we come on the story. Do you still know me? I asked. Now the narrator, she has reached to the house of her mother friend. Do you still know me? I asked. The woman looked at searchingly. She had opened the door a chink. She had opened the door. I came closer and stood on the step. No, I do not know. She said, no, I do not know. Who are you? No, I am Mrs. S. daughter. Now I tell to her, I am the daughter of Mrs. S. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. I did not know that she has recognized me or not. She kept staring at me in silence. She was staring at me in a silence way, and she was trying to recognize me. That who am I? Perhaps I was mistaken. Now I was thinking I have come at the wrong door. Perhaps it is not her. I was thinking I think I'm at the wrong door. Maybe she is someone else. I had seen her only once fleeting because I was confused because once I I saw her before many years, and that was years ago. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell. Now I realize that I rang the wrong bell. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. She was wearing who? Mrs. Darling. Mrs. Darling was wearing the cardigan of my mother. Now I was confirmed that I'm at the right door. I was looking at the cardigan and half hid herself again behind the door, but I knew now that I was right. Now I realized I was not at the wrong door. I was at the right door. Well, you knew my mother. Now I just asked, you knew my mother? I asked. I asked, have you come back? She asked. Said the woman. I thought that no one had come back. Now she asked that you have come back. I was thinking nobody will come back from that war. Okay, my dear, we shall continue this story on tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Have an amazing day.